Princess Diana changed into always surrounded by using interest, via the affection of the people, but additionally by means of shadows. The one's shadows became more and more horrifying when Mohamed Al-Fayed got here into her lifestyles. What secrets and techniques lurked behind his generous presents and offers? What came about the day she ran out of his office, shaking with worry? Stay tuned to discover how a private tragedy became an actual existence drama. Grimy vintage man, Daddy Al-Fayed's love for Princess Diana become now not platonic. Master Yoda referred to as the 30 to 12 months old princess to her 60 to 12 months vintage suitor. She jumped out of his office at some point, all shivering. To her rock, Paul Burrell, Diana introduced a verbatim obscene concept to Al-Fayed. Diane called him an onk. After an incident that passed off before her relationship with Dodi even started. The film manufacturer's dad was a patient suitor. He had been dating Diana considering 1986, after they met at a polo suit backed by his department store. He showered the princess with presents and allowed her to use the name of the game front to his Knightsbridge save, persevering with to play the function of her father and confidant. Harrods vans full of the latest devices and laptop games would arrive at Kensington Palace, but Diana might ship them returned and her servant could arrive strolling, encumbered with new parcels. Burrell believes the billionaire was trying to buy her and take benefit of her vulnerability. Harrods had become a safe haven for her. It changed into a stone's throw from her favored eating place San Lorenzo, and he or she loved spending time there. Fayed saw an opportunity to convey her into his area. He allowed her use a secret tunnel that leads to the store underground. He instructed her she could get something she wanted free of charge and allowed her and the boys to save overdue at night, but she refused. He gave her what the royals failed to provide her. He organized an breakout for her, and he knew what he turned into doing. He gave her the opportunity to discover a world she thought become safe. The butler had warned Diana to be careful with this guy who couldn't be trusted. But Diana became of a different opinion. She instructed me, like Jackie Kennedy, I need to find an Onassis who will guard me. In 1997, Diana commenced relationship Dodi after a holiday on his father's yacht, the Joni Cal, where the pair had been filmed kissing on the deck. The puppeteer of the affair became his father. What he desired maximum turned into to be related to the royal-owned family. Fayed bought a ship earlier than this vacation, so Dodi may want to entertain the princess in personal. He spent thousands and thousands seeking to woo her, and his son become only a pawn in his game. Ought to Princess Diana have fallen sufferer to Al-Fayed's manipulations? Burrell remembers first witnessing Fayed's indecent touching of ladies again when he changed into the Queen's footman. He said his fingers had been wandering round. He could actually position his arms on ladies without asking them. With Diana, he couldn't move to some distance. She usually had the higher hand due to the fact he could not have the funds for to lose her. Unfortunately, most of the women who labored for him did not have that benefit. She mentioned how Fayed used to put his fingers on her all of the time. Human beings don't contact individuals of the royal circle of relatives, but I noticed him stroking her hand and lingering on it too long, kissing her hand almost like a puppy and placing his arm around her waist. If he did that with Princess Diana, can you consider what he did with other women? Can you imagine the strength this man had in his keep? Each person turned into fearful of him. While he entered a room, anybody might disappear or stand aside. What do you suspect? Was Dodi only a pawn in his father's sport? If you're inquisitive about studying extra about the surprising details of Diana's life, join the channel and click on the bell so you do not leave out new videos. Diana's plan. Diana got here up with a plan to safely communicate with Fayed whilst she went into Harrods. Every time Diana and her butler entered the department safety would report to Fayed that she become there and he might come down to satisfy and escort her around the branch store. Paul thinks it became like a state visit. Diana simplified the greeting ceremony by using going up to Fayed's office at the pinnacle ground of the branch shops to mention what's up and chat for 5 to 10 minutes, and then he might live in his office and he or she could stroll via the store. She didn't want to be on my own with him any greater than important. She breathed a sigh of remedy whilst it changed into over and she could buy groceries in peace. Diana described the pinnacle floor of Harrods as Al-Fayed's bubble. Diana said he turned into constantly surrounded via ladies in brief skirts. She realized it turned into his harem. Diana sensed a predator. Diana noticed the older man as a predator toward her. It became a predatory game, but he could not win at it. Diana turned into not going to take part in his sport, he became constantly advancing, and he or she was constantly taking flight. She knew exactly who Fayed was, and in the future he did pass the road. She was trembling, she felt unwell. The incident passed off earlier than her dating with Dodi began. Fayed bluntly advised Diana that he desired her to marry his son because, consistent with Egyptian lifestyle, the daddy always is going first. I'm going to relaxation with you. Do you suspect Al-Fayed clearly deliberate to become part of the royal family at any fee? Burrell says. I was within the vehicle when she ran out of his office, all trembling, and stated to me, her genuine words, I want you to marry my son, because in Egyptian tradition the daddy is going first. The butler was outraged to listen this, and remarked that Fayed became 2 times the princess's age, he became already in his 1960s. Diana laughingly referred to as the rich person Yoda after the wrinkly green superstar Wars individual, and God, because of his inflated ego. Can you consider making love to Yoda? She referred to as him creepy and slippery and complained approximately him placing his fingers on her. Diane was disgusted at the concept of having to surrender to him. Making that comment set the level for the assembly, and he turned into severe. He believed it became his proper and that it'd really appear that he might virtually sleep with the Princess of Wales. And she or he turned into always conscious of that throughout her affair with Dodi. Diana could help his sufferers if she were alive nowadays. Paul Burrell's revelations come inside the wake of a BBC documentary in which dozens of women branch keep group of workers discovered they have been assaulted and raped by way of Al-Fayed while he changed into the proprietor of Harrods from 1985 to 2010. Burrell believes that if Diana had been alive nowadays she could support the sufferers. I do not suppose she could have been surprised via the allegations due to the fact she knew he had behaved abhorrently in the direction of girls. She wouldn't have been surprised because he proposed to her. That "I'm going to sleep with you" remark subsequently settled the matter for me. It showed his true individual because he turned into God at Harrods, and if he was handled like God he could get whatever he desired and whoever he wanted. If Princess Diana were right here, she could have stood up with them and joined in and stated, well, it may have happened to me. But it didn't. Thank God. But I'll be with you all the way to the give up. She turned into speaking about her personal enjoy. I desire she had been right here to inform you that those women were courageous enough to come back forward and expose Fayed. And Princess Diana is part of that organization. She is with them. She's one in every of them. Do you believe you studied Diana may want to have averted this recreation? Go away your opinion within the comments below and remember to offer us a like in case you're interested by getting to know extra.